The past weekend saw the Tokyo ePrix. In this video, I'm going to talk about the two different races and different things that stood out from each of them. Starting off, that race one was absolutely wild. The wet weather racing produced great action, and it produced a great display of the all-weather tyres, the importance of things like four-wheel drive. It's one of those ones that could be a bit of an engineer's dream, as well as a tactician's dream. It was funny seeing the commentary where they were talking with Andre Lotterer, who was saying to the effect of, well, if I was a driver, I would have chosen to go in the pit lane. And, well, sure enough, Jake Dennis did. And then got disqualified. Now, it wasn't entirely his fault, right? Like, the team would have advised him to do it. He probably would have thought about the fact that the pit entry light was red. And, yeah, tried to do what Stoffel Vandoorne had done, but didn't follow the rules. Vandoorne pitted early. Was very lucky when the red flag happened that he'd already done the pit boost. That was a deserved win, and a great win in the way for Maserati, because Vandoorne, well, it hasn't been the best thing since he's done that switch. Because he switched with Gunter, didn't he? Gunter went from the Maserati team, what was Venturi, across to DS Penske, whilst Vandoorne went the other direction. Both stayed Stellantis group, but just moved around within that group. And, yeah. Ended up being to the benefits of Stoffel Vandoorne, in that case. Then race 2 was a little bit more business as usual. Oliver Rowland winning again. I mean, he has been by far driver of this season. Like some other drivers have had peaks and troughs. Pascal Wehrlein is another one of those drivers who has been really good, but he has had peaks and troughs. He's had ups and downs. He's had moments which have really gone well for him, and then moments that really haven't. And in a way, Tokyo was that. Race 1, he was outperformed by Antonio Felix da Costa, and then Tokyo 2, he was there battling for the win. But in addition to Rowland's fine form and deserved win and a great strategy play after losing out early on, Dan Ticktum, like, he is slowly becoming, I mean, I track my personal driver ratings for this thing. He's slowly becoming one of the front runners. I think he is currently third in my average ratings, only behind Wehrlein and Rowland. I mean, you look around and you see a lot of drivers close to him. Taylor Barnard is just behind him. It just takes one good performance for that to swing. Same for Nick de Vries. Same, a little bit less so, for Nick Cassidy and Jean-Eric Verne, where Cassidy's had some middling races, a couple of good ones, and Verne is just had middling races all season long. But yeah, Ticktum has really impressed me this season. I don't know if it's that it's still a Porsche powertrain, even though the Kiro is running a year-old Porsche powertrain, but he's comfortably got the measure of his rookie teammate David Beckman, and is outperforming other drivers who also have that Porsche powertrain. Now, some of the mistakes, like the one in Monaco Race 2, it still shows that he's still got some of the aggression that we know him for from his earlier career. But he has very quietly established himself as a driver not to be taken lightly in Formula E. Be interesting to see what happened if a top team got their hands on him. Either way, after all is said and done in the Drivers' Championship, Oliver Rowland has nearly double the points of Pascal Wehrlein in second place. In fact, Oliver Rowland has a bit of a Max Verstappen thing to him, because Nissan is leading the championship over Porsche, and the Porsche drivers combined have scored 4 less points than Oliver Rowland. That is, Max Verstappen-esque. That is what we saw in 2023 with Red Bull, where Verstappen could have won the Manufacturers' Championship himself. I mean, Perez helped them absolutely dominate in 23, but yeah, Rowland is literally having that same effect this season. if you look at his results, Sao Paulo, you can sort of write off that wasn't his own doing. Miami was. But outside of that, it's first, second, first, second, first. It is almightily impressive. Now, maybe he benefited from the qualifying being cancelled for the first race. But you always need a bit of luck to string this championship run together. It's just so impressive to see him so far ahead. When you look at the gap behind him for the next couple of drivers, that's a bit more Formula E. But the kind of thing that you would expect to see from Formula E, if you were a fan about 4 or 5 years ago when I was really into Formula E, the first time around, with the Gen 2 cars, yeah, you would have expected to see what you see between 7th and, well, ticked him down in 12th. Where 7th place Mortara is on 47 points, and Jez on 46, Bremi's on 45, Vandal's on 44, and on 43 you've got Gunter and Tictum. It's, frankly, quite bizarre to see such domination in the series. It tends to be pretty close together. Almost as strange as seeing Mahindra right up there. I mean, I think that they have as many point scores this season in the Teams Championship as they did in the Manufacturers Championship last year. Bearing in mind, the Manufacturers Championship included a loaned-down powertrain, something which I don't think that Mahindra have this season, do they? I'm pretty sure they're the only team running their own, the Mahindra powertrain. Yeah, they're comfortably third, ahead of McLaren, who are 9 points behind, who are only 1 point clear of DS Penske now. But a good run for Penske. And then Andretti down in 6th on 80, ahead of Maserati. I mean, I say that Penske have had a bit of a disappointing run. Andretti and Jaguar, who are on 58, definitely could say the same thing. But it's impressive to see that every team's got more than 20 points to the table. I mean, Lola Yamaha are on 28 points. Granted, both of those scores come from impressive runs, almightily impressive runs for Lucas Di Grassi, proving why he is still deservedly one of the top Formula E drivers in history. But, yeah, can't say the same thing about Formula 1, can you? I mean, it doesn't have 11 teams, but still. Either way, as always, let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching and joining, folks, and until next time, it's bye for now.